status at the very top. Brad Rose is going to teach you how to create that elite fame status for yourself or for your business, right? Because when you have that fame status, people just want to buy what you have to offer. Does this make sense? Say yes. Yes. Right? So Brian Rose is going to share with you that fame status. He's going to share with you how to create that, how to manufacture that, how to position yourself for your business in the realm of social media, on the realm of Facebook, in your videos, and everything you do for yourself, for your business, how to be able to create that fame. So if you're excited to get that information, say yes. Yes. Are you excited for that information? Say yes. Yes. Awesome. With that being said, guys, we're so honored to have this guy here. So please give your huge round of applause for Mr. the one and only co-founder JV Zoo, Brian Rose. Guys, let's make it feel good. Huge round of applause.
Hey, thanks everybody. We're going to start off with a little, I need my clicker. Where's the clicker? Okay. We're going to start out with using your imagination. Keep the music going for me for a second. Bring it back up just a second. Everybody on your feet, please. Just do me a favor here, and I want you to use your imagination. And I want you to pretend for just a minute that your favorite thing in the world is on this stage. What's your favorite thing? A woman. I got that.
This is the co-creator of JV Zoo.
Let's say money. Who loves money? Money. All right. So let's say you are at like a rock concert, and who's performing on the stage? Money is performing on the stage, and you're going crazy. So I need everybody to go crazy. Pretend dancing money is up here right now. Everybody just start applauding and going crazy right now. Just give me about 12 seconds for that. All right, keep it going. What I just did was manipulated all of you so that I could take a picture of myself with you guys giving this roaring standing applause, and I'm going to post it on Facebook, and everybody's going to think that you guys were cheering for me and not money, and that's what we call perception, because everybody's going to look at that picture and go, this guy's awesome, oh my God. But you were cheering for money, but that'll be our secret. And it'll look something like that. I do this a lot. And it'll get like 300 likes, and they'll be like, oh my God. And all these promoters that are doing shows like this will be like, we got to get this guy because he gets standing ovations. So you can use that tip, but just don't tell everybody about it. So today we're going to talk about expert fame, and thank you for that awesome introduction. I have a lot to live up to. And Tanner and Lois, great presentation from them. Another round of applause for those guys. So what is expert fame, and how can it help you? That's the question. We all know what it's like to be famous, okay? Well, we don't know what it's like to be these guys, but when we think of famous people, we think of maybe Tom Cruise, Tiger Woods, people that are easily recognizable. But there is a type of fame that everybody in this room can achieve, and that is expert fame. Say expert fame. Expert fame. Every single person can achieve expert fame. What exactly is expert fame? Well, how about when we think about the financial business? People that come to mind, like, who knows this person? Susie Orman. Susie Orman, she writes books about the financial world. She has TV shows. She's a talking head on other people's talk shows. And people just think of her when they think of financial news and financial advice. Bob Vila, when you think of home improvement, you think of Bob Vila. And Bob Vila built that reputation for himself, and he got the big gig with Sears, millions of dollars a year. That's work. And a little bit closer to home, here's another guy. Who's this guy? Frank Kern. We all know him, internet marketer, and he's built that expert fame. And how did he do it? He started out by doing exactly what a lot of us do, selling information on the internet. Does anybody know what he was selling first when he first started selling information? Dog training. He sold manuals that taught people how to train their dogs. And he did so well at it that he said, you know what? I think that if I wrap this into a package telling people how I did it, they would buy it. And that's what happened. And he took that and built it to the next level. And it wasn't by accident. Believe me, this guy didn't become famous by selling how I made a few $100,000 selling dog tricks online. It was carefully orchestrated. Everything that he did was a plan to become that expert famous figure in an industry. And now when Frank Kern does a launch, what happens? Millions of dollars. I think his last launch did $14 million in a 24-hour period. Who wants to get to that place? Anybody that didn't raise their hand shouldn't even be here. So we're going to talk about kind of getting to that place, a plan to take yourself into the expert fame world. What is expert fame? Expert fame is when you are so ingrained in your niche that when people want information about that niche, who do they turn to? They turn to you. And when people want to buy information, they say, oh, well, this guy's got information on this, and he's got a great course. They give it to you. And when someone asks them, hey, I want to learn about, how I can, build an AR-15, who do I go to? And they say, oh, you go to Tanner, because he's the go-to guy in that niche. And that's what it's like to be expert famous in a niche. And people are information junkies. Who here is not an information junkie? Raise your hand if you are an information junkie. I mean, you're here, sitting in this hot room, under these hot lights, just getting information, and believe me, if we could inject it into your veins, you would probably accept that. That's Ryan McKinney last night after he got off stage. No, I'm kidding. I love information as well. I am an information junkie myself. I can't get enough of it. Not only can I not absorb enough information, but I love to give that information away as well. I love to share my message. And when you achieve expert fame, it gets you in a position where you can be on stages like this. Why do you want to be on a stage? Why do you want to be in videos online? Why do you want a huge following online? Because when you have a big following, or you're standing up on a stage, people listen to what you say. Just about all of you are looking at me right now, listening to what I'm saying, because I'm standing on a stage. In fact, you'll probably do anything I tell you to do. How many times this weekend alone have you heard, I'm going to build a funnel. What's the word? Funnel. And we just repeat, like sheep, right? You just repeat, because when somebody's on a stage or on a soapbox, elevated in a room, it gives them instant authority. What's that word? Authority. You did it again. It gives you instant authority. Now imagine if you did that, if you walked into like a convenience store and walked up to the guy and said, I'm looking for eggs. Eggs. What's the word? They would look at you like you're insane. But if you stood into a crowded room, slapped down a soapbox on the ground, stood up on it and said, ladies and gentlemen, everybody would stop what they're doing because you're a little bit elevated. And elevation on a stage or even on the internet, elevation in a video gives you the appearance of authority. Am I right? Right. I love information, and mainly because
with this guy in the
I figured out something. Information equals what?
Put your arm down.
Cash. That's right. Information equals money. And I'll tell you why. Because ever since the dawn of humanity, people have been starving for information. How to build a better fire, how to build a better wheel. And if you don't think people have been willing to pay for information from the dawn of time, you're crazy. People have always been willing to pay for information. And it never goes out of style. Information never goes out of style or is ever affected by the economy. If the economy's good and everybody's raining money, they want to know where to invest that money. And they will buy information that tells them. Am I right or right? If the economy's bad, they want to know how to get money. And they're willing to pay people to tell them how to get a job, how to do a job interview, how to get a better deal on a car, how to get a better deal on your mortgage. They're always looking for information. It never goes out of style. Whether people have a lot of money or they have a little money, they're always looking for information that will better their situation. And it doesn't just have to be about money. It can be about anything. It can be about the gun industry like Tanner's involved in. It can be about how to cure acne. I hate the pimples on my face. I want them gone. I look on the internet and I find this $10 ebook that teaches me how to get rid of pimples. Am I going to buy it? Sure, because I've probably tried everything else and it didn't work. So why would I stop here? People will buy information if it will better their situation. Am I right? Right. How many people have ever seen these? Put your email address in, get your free information. We've all done it. Raise your hand if you've done this. Raise your hand if you're on the other end and you offer these free books. That's what we call the beginning of a funnel. And you've heard a lot of guys talk about funnels here. You know, you get your email address in exchange for an ebook or a piece of software, something for free that will better their lives, and then I will remarket you or upsell you right away into something with more information that I can sell to you. Or recurring monthly profits from that information. Join my mastermind group. Join my membership site. I'm going to continue to feed, drip feed we call it, where you get information on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and you pay me monthly, and it's hands off. That's a beautiful situation, to be getting money from a customer without doing anything, because it's all automated for you, right? And how about affiliate marketers? How many people here are affiliate marketers? Good, you should be using JVZoo, right? Affiliate marketers, you set up your autoresponders, right? You get somebody to opt into your list, and they automatically, on day one, they get this email offering this awesome product. On day two, they get this email, get a little bit of information, maybe day three, back to selling, offering them something else, right? We've all been through these funnels, and we've probably all created these funnels, am I right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of money involved in this, right? $150 million worth was sold through JVZoo in the last 3 years. I'd say that's a lot of money. But I will tell you, the industry that we're in, we call it the internet marketing industry, the IM industry, where a lot of us sell information about internet marketing, you know, and I think the biggest misnomer in the IM niche when people get into the information marketing or internet marketing business is they think the best way to get ahead is to teach internet marketers internet marketing. So a newbie comes into the business and says, I want to make some money online. What can I do? So I'm going to buy this course, and they pay $17, $27, $47 for this course, and it teaches them to build courses teaching people how to make money online. And you're going to sell to that same crowd that you were once a part of. But guess what? That crowd is a little bit more educated than the rest of the world. They expect the funnel. They're more unlikely to put their email address in because they know what's coming after that. They know that there's going to be a barrage of emails, one right after another, because we're in the business and we're learning about the business. It's like being a magician teaching tricks to an audience full of magicians. That's hard to do because they all know the tricks. So the truth is, your magic would be better used elsewhere. If you were just getting into this business and you learned a little bit about SEO, or you learned a little bit about Facebook ad buys, or how to build a fan page, or anything that can help generate leads, and you go into a room like this and start teaching people how to do that, chances are half the room has already heard this, and it's going to sound like rhetoric. Am I right? If you take that same little bitty magic trick and take it to, say, a room full of real estate agents that are looking to build leads, that have no idea where to start, you go from being the guy that's just teaching rehashed bullshit to being a rock star. You see that? Who agrees with that? Your magic is best used elsewhere. It goes a long way outside the IM industry. So a lot of you are stuck. I don't know how many of you are still selling on the Warrior Forum. Anybody still doing that? Good. It's a never-ending cycle at the Warrior. Who's familiar with the Warrior Forum? And they have the WSO section where they're all teaching each other how to do the exact same thing, and the person buys the course and just rewords it a little bit and sells it again, and it's just this never-ending wheel of people just selling the same stuff to each other, and people that are never going to actually do anything with it. But I will tell you, there is some value in that, and that value is when you're selling information, the beautiful thing about this, and this is the little dirty secret that people don't like to talk about, would say about 75% of the people that buy your information, whether it's how to get more traffic to your websites, how to build a better funnel, how to get more leads if you're a real estate agent, whatever it is, the people that are buying this information, about 75% of them will do nothing with it. Yet they'll buy and buy and buy again because they are addicted to information. Who here has found themselves in that circle? Be honest. And it takes a lot to snap yourself out. You have to go through detox so that you can get out and actually start doing something. But just like this building that we're in right here, the Palms Casino in Las Vegas, there's a lot of money to be made from addiction, am I right? And it's not a disservice you're doing to somebody. They want the knowledge. Sometimes somebody just wants to know how a magic trick is done. You ever see a magic trick and you go into the magic store and you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. How did you do that? And they show you how they did it. And you might even buy it, just to show your friends that you know how to do it. They don't really buy these tricks so that they can put on a show on a stage and put their top hat on and their little cane and cape. They bought it because they wanted to know how the trick was done. And those guys, there's magic shops all over Las Vegas. Who's ever been to one? You ask them how they're done and they say, oh, $7.99, gotta buy it. And I bought 2 or 3 because the card was just flipping around in the air and he's just going like this. And the card was going from hand to hand and I had to know how the hell he did it. It turns out it was like ridiculously hard and I could never do it, but at least I know how it was done. People are willing to pay for that. The other 25%, they're going to attempt to do something with it. Most of them are going to fail because that's just the way the world works. If everybody succeeded, we'd all be Donald Trumps right now. We'd all be multi-billionaires. The world needs people trying and trying and trying again so that people that can sell them more things to try and try and try. Am I right? That sounds like a douchebag thing to say, doesn't it? I see a couple of people looking at me shaking their head, but that is the way the world works, and people want to keep trying. They want the information. They want good information from people that are well respected and have authority in their industry, and they're willing to pay for it. Out of those 25%, you're going to have probably about 10 or 15% that are going to be rock stars. These are the people that are going to take your information and run with it and actually succeed and do something huge. You heard Tanner earlier talking about how he bought Chris Records' t-shirt business model and blew it up. Those are your bread and butter. Those are the people that are going to write reviews about you, they're going to tell their friends about you, and they're going to tell their friends that are most likely just like them. Successful people hang with successful people. Agree with that? Yes. You are who your friends are. There's no doubt about that. You hang out with a bunch of losers, you're probably a loser. A lot of people don't know that, so a lot of people don't recognize the fact that their friends are losers. So ask somebody that's outside the crowd, are my friends losers? That's a homework assignment for you. And if they are, you need to make a change. Funnels work much better outside IM, period, end of story. And they never ask you. Customers will never say, is there an OTO? Because they don't know what an OTO is. They purchase something online and they don't expect that one-time offer, so it catches them by surprise. And that's what you want. In the IM business, when you're selling, IM products to IMers, they make a purchase and they're like, okay, what's he gonna upsell me on now? And they're tapping their foot. And they go into it with a negative feeling. You don't get that when you're selling makeup or acne remedies or anything outside of this industry. Look at this guy. This guy is what you call somebody that is making a fortune in the passion industries that a few people have talked about. He got 715,000 views on a video called 4 Ways to Tuck in a Shirt. How to properly tuck in your dress shirt. 715,591 people apparently want to know how to tuck in their shirt. And he sends them to a website called realmenrealstyle.com, where he has an opt-in and a whole sales funnel built into there by guys that really want to look awesome. And he makes millions of dollars off of this. Look at the number beside his name at the bottom. He has over 256,000 followers on YouTube. That's expert fame. Would you agree? Yeah. How many people here would love to have 256,000 followers on YouTube? There's a lot of money to be made there. And this guy's doing it. No matter what your niche is, the goal is to achieve expert fame, and you do it by starting to get yourself out there. Like this guy, putting his face out there, making videos. He's got dozens and dozens of videos. How to shine your shoes. How to pick the right frames to wear based on the shape of your head. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff like this. Achieve expert fame and people will listen to you. And why do they listen to him? Because he's wearing a nice jacket, he's standing in front of a nice professional background. You see, he's got a white background behind him. He doesn't have this bookcase with all these things going on in the background that are distracting you. It's very professional looking. Chances are he used an iPhone and a wall of his house and a $4 light from Walmart. It's not hard to make yourself look professional. Yet so many people do these videos where I'm in my kitchen right now and behind them is a sink full of dirty dishes and kids are running around, the dog is barking in the background. How hard is it? If you don't have a white wall, use a brick wall. Use any solid color. Hang on. Hey, look, don't I look professional? Standing in front of this black thing? You can do this in your house and set up your iPhone and make yourself look professional. If you look professional, people will think you're professional. It's all about perception. It's all about perception. Right, now you guys aren't repeating me because I already told you the trick about how to cheat. People are looking for someone to follow. No matter what niche you're in. Everybody here, I don't care how successful you are, whether you're Chris Record and you're making millions of dollars online, Chris is looking for someone to teach him more. Am I right, Chris? Chris is involved in a conversation right there, and he's programmed just to say yes when he hears his name and right. I saw this yesterday. Expert fame is when you are the go-to person. Who here wants to be the go-to person in their niche? Because it equals what? Money. Money. This guy keeps saying cash. Everybody else is saying money, you keep saying cash. Cash is sexy. I like that. I'm going to start using cash. Cash is a 4-letter word, he says. Who knows this guy? Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins tells people how to use neuro-linguistics, blah, 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 to teach people how to say yes, 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 right? That's what he does for a living. And he makes millions and millions of dollars. So when I Googled, how did Tony Robbins get famous? I knew the answer, but I wanted to hear what other people were saying about this. So I went to Quora. How did Tony Robbins get famous? First one, Tony became famous by having a passion for what he does and pursuing it with full vigor. Yeah. Probably not. Some anonymous person said, masterful manipulation of the masses. Yes, he just got up one day and said, you will buy my stuff. It's NLP, it works. I don't think that happened. Joyce Gibson said, fire walking. Remember the people that walk across the fire like this? Do you know that when you go to a Tony Robbins event, there's like 12 ambulances on standby? You never hear about that. Because somebody starts walking across, they start up back here, and they're like, oh, I can't wait, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm scared. Ah! And they drive off in one of the ambulances. But you don't hear about that, and they just kind of shuffle you off to the side, and Tony comes up and goes, yeah, we having a good time? Oh, don't worry about her, she'll be fine. She'll be okay. Then I came to this answer, and this is from Benji Bruce. Benji Bruce is an awesome stage speaker. So it's very coincidental. He's somebody that I follow. He's a mentor of mine. And he answered this, and coincidentally, he was on this thing. And he said, Tony became famous because of his infomercial. He didn't have much money, but the people he met put up almost all of the money to make the infomercial and took 97% of the profits. So even though Tony became well known, he wasn't making money at the beginning, but he had what? The fame. Infomercials. Repetitiveness of his big, humongous head on TV while you're flipping through the channels late at night. Who here has seen a Tony Robbins infomercial back 15, 20 years ago? They were everywhere, every single night of the week. All these people firewalking and having a good time and learning from him, speaking from the stage, and I can teach it to you at your home. The same thing that people paid me $5,000 to come to and see me on stage, I will send to you for $19.95. And it worked because he was on TV. He had this infomercial that kept going on and playing every single night of the week. At 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And who's up at 2 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the morning? The people that are stressing out about money, right? They can't sleep because they can't pay their bills. And then they see this big-headed guy on TV night after night after night telling them that he will solve their problems. And they believe it because he's on TV. And Tony is great at what he does. Tony has great information. Tony has a group of loyal followers that will swear to him. So by putting out good information, you set yourself up as the authority figure. You keep yourself, you keep the crown, if you will, by delivering the good information. And Tony has done that masterfully. Well, guess what? Each and every one of you don't have to get a backer that's going to give you 97% of the money for your infomercials, because who watches infomercials anymore? Nobody. Everybody's on the internet now. And let me tell you what, you have something available to you that Tony Robbins would have drooled at 20 years ago. Facebook ads combined with webinars, that is the new infomercial. How many people have seen the sponsored ads as you're scrolling through your newsfeed? Everybody. Everybody's seen it. How many people go on Facebook every day here? Raise your hand if you go on Facebook every single day. Raise your hand if you go on at least once a week. Just about everybody in the room except for these two guys. That's the new infomercial. That's the going through your news feed on Facebook. That's 20 years ago's version of flipping through the channels with your clicker. Just staring at the TV, clicking. So we didn't have the guides that told you what was on back then. You couldn't search. You just clicked through your channels over and over and over again. And that's how you found these infomercials. And the infomercials were fantastic. They were 7-minute programs, and then they'd go to commercial, and the commercial was selling them everything they've been talking about. It was brilliant. You can do the exact same thing online now with webinars. And you can automate these webinars. And I've been in the webinar business for a long, long time. In fact, James Jones, who knows James Jones here? A lot of people in our industry call him the godfather of webinars. And he took me under his wing a long time ago and kind of showed me the way. And together, we changed it up a little bit. We wanted to make it more like a TV show, more entertaining, more Q&A. A lot of times back then, you'd have somebody that was hosting a webinar for their list, and they say, hey, I'm going to bring this guy, Chris Record, in, who's going to teach you guys about Facebook ads. So, ladies and gentlemen, take it away, Chris. Here's Chris. And then the host would walk away. And Chris would go on doing his 2-hour presentation and sell something at the end. And he'd make a lot of sales. But he could have made a lot more sales if the host stayed with him and didn't just hand the keys over. How many people run webinars here today? A lot of you. Okay. All of you should have been raising your hand, because there is enormous money in webinars. It is a captive audience, just like this is right now. If you can't be on stage, be on a webinar. It's just as good, believe me. You can make a lot of money. But if you're hosting webinars, you need to stay on there. When you bring an expert in, that's your audience, that's your mailing list that you've invited a stranger into. Now you might know this guy, but your audience doesn't. They follow you. So you stay with them. So when Chris Record stands here and says, and we took this exact model and we turned a $10 ad into a $1,400 profit in just 30 days, and I did it all by using this method, okay, some stranger just told me some tall tale. But if you as the host come back and say, so Chris, let me get this straight. Or Chris, you know what? I know that this is the exact truth because I've seen you do it. I've watched this guy do it. And just add those kind of, those add-ons that back up what he says. Because when they hear it from the stranger over here, they might be thinking, whatever, bullshit. They hear it from you, the trusted guy that's been giving them information. When you repeat what he says, it means a lot. Does that sound right? So when you're hosting webinars, stay on the webinar. But Facebook ads combined with webinars, that's the new infomercial. And a lot of you are thinking, oh man, I don't want to have to do webinars every single day. Well, back in the old days, that's what we had to do. Today, they have things called automated evergreen webinars that start at a certain time. They give the appearance that it's live. You're not actually telling them that it's live. You can do it one time in front of a live audience and then run these webinars in automation. And say, hey, do you want to watch this replay, or this replay? Just be honest and say that it's a replay. Or you can just let them guess whether it's live or not. It doesn't matter. There's nothing unethical about that. Believe me, when people were sitting in their rooms at 2:30 in the morning and watching a Tony Robbins infomercial, I don't think there was a single person that said, this all sounds good and I want to buy it, but is this live? Not one person thought that, and they won't think that about your webinars either. How many people have seen these ads? This is Amy Porfield. She gives a great training on Facebook and how to get followers on Facebook. And she's using sponsored ads that appear in your newsfeed to get people to join a webinar. You click on that link and you go to a webinar sign-up page. And then it asks you which time you want to go to the webinar. Here's another one, and this is an actually better ad. This is Maria's ad. Why is this one better than the last one? Because it's got a picture of her on there. And she's getting herself out there. She's putting her face out there. And I see this ad probably 30 times a day when I'm on Facebook. And I'm sure that millions of other people see it over and over and over again. And they get her face and her name embedded into their memory. And that's her way of building expert fame. Same thing, she's bringing people into a webinar funnel. How to create videos that do the selling for you. Here's another one, massive media exposure. Diane France, she's teaching people how to get on TV with interviews. And she does a fantastic job in getting people to come to her webinars. And these are 3 ads that I saw on my newsfeed in probably a 1 hour period. And I've actually gone to every single one of them, not because I was just information seeking because I'm in the industry, because I actually wanted to know what they wanted to say. And I bought one of them too. I paid these people money. So, and I actually look at these people as authority figures. And the same can happen for you. If you follow in their footsteps, Facebook lets you automate your success. When somebody signs up for your email list, do you type out an email? Oh, I got an opt-in. I got to send them an email. And you type it out. 10 minutes later, you get another email. Oh, I got another opt-in. I got to type out my first welcome email to them. How many people do that? No, you don't. None of them. It's automated. It's drip-fed to them. You use an autoresponder, right? Facebook lets you build an autoresponder for webinars. Mike Filsane has a product called Evergreen Business something. Who knows the name of it? Business, what's it?
Business system.
Systems?
Evergreen business systems.
Evergreen business systems, right, that automates your webinars. It is a cheap investment to make your webinars automated just like your emails. It's a one-time fee. Facebook lets you automate your success just like Aweber and GoRiceGirl do with your emails. You want to automate your webinars just like you would your emails, because webinars are the new TV. Video on the internet is the new TV. It used to be a good old boys club where only certain people could get on TV. Unless you had money, you had to have either investors or a lot of money to pay for these ads that ran over and over and over again every single night. You don't need that kind of money anymore. YouTube's free, Facebook is free, or you can spend a little bit of money advertising on Facebook and show up in people's news feeds that you target, your targeted customers. You couldn't even target customers in infomercials. Sure, you could target certain channels, like maybe put something on ESPN late at night, but come on. It's really hard to really hone in on people that really want to see your niche. Just because you have a fishing product on ESPN doesn't mean everybody that's watching is a fisherman. Facebook lets you eliminate everybody that's not a fisherman. And you can hone in on your target audience. And that's where the money's at. The advertising exposure alone, just people seeing your picture in their newsfeed day after day after day, is a stepping stone to expert fame, because it builds authority. And they might not click on it that time. They might not click on it the second time. They might not click it on it the third time. But then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, they say, hey, you know what, I have a need for, I want to get my book on my local Fox station. What was the name of that girl that I keep seeing ads for? And it'll come to you. And that's because she built that building block of expert fame by showing you her face over and over and over again with the Fox, ABC, NBC logos right below them. And people go back to her. They might not do it the first time they see the ad, the second time they see the ad, the third time they see the ad. But eventually, when people need that service, they remember. But that's stuff that you actually have to pay for, and I know a lot of you hate to pay for things. So who wants some free ways to achieve expert fame? Yeah, more like that. Who wants some free ways to achieve expert fame? All right. First thing that you can do right now, you can all do this as soon as I'm done talking. Just go home for the day. Forget about everything else. Tonight, when you get home, I want you to do kind of an inventory on yourself. Google your name in your industry. Google your name plus your niche. Do a search online. What do people see when they find you? And a lot of people are saying, you know what, I just don't have anything out there. How can I be an authority figure in my business when I have great knowledge, but I have no past, no track record, no stage experience, no pictures of me doing like these extraordinary things, no case studies. But I know that I'm an expert because I built the world's largest toothpick model in the world, and I want to teach other people how to do that. So Google yourself, and if you find nothing, you're going to have to remedy that by seeding the web. You know what it means to seed the web? It's kind of like what it says. You're planting seeds so that something grows and people will eventually see what has grown from the ground. And there's easy ways to do that. This is what you see if you Google my name right now. And I'll show you what these are. First one is my website, ebrianrose.com. The next one is my Twitter account, my LinkedIn account, my Facebook account, some chat forum account, a YouTube video that I produced, a YouTube video that I was interviewed in, my Google Plus account, and this bottom one, this is my favorite one. This is an award nomination and it says E. Brian Rose Small Business Influencer Awards 2013. This was an award that I was nominated for, and this is a very highly SEO'd website. So when you typed in my name, it showed up because this website had a lot of authority. So when people see me on the front page with this award nomination, that's some clout, right? It's kind of impressive, right? But I'll share a secret with you. Who nominated me for this award? There are tons of business awards out there. that you can nominate yourself for or have a friend nominate you. And these sites have lots of authority when it comes to Google. But it's very, very impressive when people Google your name and see that you've been nominated for some small business award. Yeah. So do these things. Use your real name on your website. Use your real name on Twitter. Use your real name in LinkedIn. These are easy ways to use sites that have lots and lots of Google authority that will get your name out there. And not your name, but it's not actually you, it's some doctor in Memphis or something like that. You want to get you out there by using your real name on authority sites and start using things on these authority sites that have to do with your niche. If you're in the market of selling people how to get mortgages, then you're not going to be posting on Facebook on your fan page, the latest Donald Trump blunder. You don't want to do that. You want to keep to your niche. Keep giving information about your own niche when you're using social media. All of this, the awards, whether they're real or not, it's all about what? Perception. That's right. It's all about perceived value. Look, you might be the greatest expert in SEO, but nobody knows it because you haven't gotten out there. So you have to build that perception. You have to use a little bit of creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is show business. What is this?
Show business.
Show business. It is. Look, I'm standing on a stage with lights on me and cameras. Same thing if you're putting out videos on the internet in your bedroom with the white wall behind you and your $4 light from Walmart and your iPhone on a tinfoil made tripod. It's still show business because the person watching that video is going to think, wow, this guy's very professional. Am I right?
Yep.
Show business, perception. So here's some easy ways to seed the web. Distribute everything you do on free press releases. These free press release sites have a lot of clout when it comes to Google. Going to a conference? Write a press release about it. Joe Smith will be attending the blah, blah, blah conference in Las Vegas this weekend. The conference is attended by 500 or so people and features experts like E. Brian Rose, Chris Records, and Tanner Ross. You just put out a press release about you going to an event. And you're thinking, oh, that is narcissistic. It is, yes. But when people search your name and they see there's press releases about your activity, they start thinking, holy shit, this guy must be somebody. This works. It really works. It's narcissistic, but it works. And I'm the biggest narcissist you'll ever meet, believe me. And this is my favorite trick. You can interview yourself and distribute it as ready to publish content to other bloggers in your niche. And you send them an email and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I run this type of business, I know you write about this type of business, I've got this interview that I've done with myself, and all you have to do is write the beginning sentence and the end sentence, and it'll look like you wrote the interview and interviewed me. Want to publish it? How many people have blogs here? And you're all looking for information to post on your blogs, and you ever say, God, I know it's time for me to make another blog post, but I just don't have enough crap in my head to put out there on the time to write it? How many people have ever felt that way? Of course, if you have a blog, everybody's felt that way. But if this fully done thing falls in your lap that is valuable information about your niche, hell yeah, slap a beginning and ending onto it and throw out this big 1,200 word interview. That works. Conduct interviews with yourself and send them to bloggers in your niche. That's narcissistic too, but it works. And this tip, one of my favorites. Master the Lorenzo von Matterhorn. Who here knows who Lorenzo von Matterhorn is? One person. Lorenzo von Matterhorn is the alias of Barney Stinson. Who used to watch this show? This was a great show. Barney had the playbook, and this book was chapters and chapters of different plays that he would run to pick up chicks. And one of them was called the Lorenzo von Matterhorn. And what he would do was he picked the name Lorenzo von Matterhorn because he couldn't find anybody else with that name. So if he put something on the internet under the name Lorenzo von Matterhorn and somebody Googled it, it would automatically come up his stuff. So he knew this. He did a little SEO trick there. And he created a series of websites. Fake websites. This is an actual real website. Write it down, bigbusinessjournal.com. It's still up. And you'll see the subheading, Billionaire of the Week, Lorenzo von Matterhorn. And this article talks about how he has so much money he should be a James Bond villain. There's another one that he did called Extremities Weekly that talked about how he was so huge that surgery wasn't even an option. And there were a series of these websites that were created. And you're laughing, but guess what? It works. It absolutely works. When I had been working online for about 10 years before I decided, hey, I'm going to package up some of the stuff that I've used and put it out there for people to learn from me, and kind of got into the I am business. But nobody knew who I was. So I did the Lorenzo von Matterhorn. I created all these websites and talked about who the greatest internet marketers in the world were, and I would list things like Frank Kern, Mike Filsaime, Brian Rose, and I would be side by side with these guys, and even when I looked at the webpage, I was like, wow, this guy's impressive. It was bullshit, of course, because I hadn't done anything in that industry yet. But I put my bio. I didn't lie in the bio. I didn't say that I had super large extremities. I didn't lie about anything that I've done. I gave my bio. And I gave Frank Kern's bio. And Mike Filsaime's bio. And a few other people's bios. And mine was just one of about 15 people. And I did this again and again. And I repeated it with different websites. I did the Lorenzo von Matterhorn. And I put so much bullshit out there that people invite me to speak on stages like this now. So it kind of works. Of course, Barney used it to pick up chicks. I used it to make money to pick up chicks. It works. When you're putting yourself out there, when you say, hey, I want to be the authority figure in my industry. I want to be expert famous. When you do that, you are putting yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, is it better to say, I am an expert in SEO. I am an expert in Facebook ads. I am an expert in Teespring. I am an expert in this and speaking, and I can teach you how to do this and that. Oh my God. Or is it better to say, hey, I can teach you how to get famous, or I can teach you how to get your website found. One thing. If you stick to one thing, your credibility factor increases. Because these jack of all trades, nobody wants a jack of all trade. When they are seeking a solution in your niche, they want somebody that knows exactly what they're looking for. So my recommendation to you is stick to one thing that you want to be expert famous for, and continue talking about that one thing repeatedly. And you need to produce content. How many people here have ever written an ebook, written a blog post, keep your hands up, created a video for YouTube, put a squeeze page out, and if you haven't, keep your hands up. If you haven't done any of these things, if your hand's not up, how many people plan on doing one of these things in the near future? Just about everybody in the room. You're going to have to start putting content together. And there's different types of content. You have the top ones. Those are Facebook, Twitter. Those are social. And those are more impromptu content. And those are content that you're going to put out there that you're looking for interaction with. And then you have the bottom. You have your blog. You have YouTube videos. These are prepared content. So there's a difference between your social content and your prepared content. Your prepared content is stuff that you want to make that's evergreen, that can go on forever. Your social content, it's going to be more about current events. And if you keep it like that, that will lend assistance to what social media is, which is about being what? Social. That's right. You want to be repetitive with your prepared content. If you're writing blog posts or you're making videos, I know this lawyer. He's in Detroit, a city right outside of Detroit, and he makes these videos of maybe 5 minutes about divorce. You know, what to expect when this stage of your divorce, what to do, you know, when you need a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Every different kind of scenario that you can think of about divorce. He makes these little 5-minute videos, and this guy's hair is always messed up. He's always got, and he's sitting behind his law library, so it kind of looks good. He's not a professional speaker. He's got this southern twang, even though he's up in Detroit, and he sits here and he tells good information. And he uses his little iPhone, he props it up on a couple of books, and he tells about 5 minutes. This guy's got about 100 followers because it's repetitive information that he puts out there about the exact same topic over and over and over again. So if you think you have to be beautiful, if you think you have to be the best dressed person, if you think you have to have big knockers to be famous and get a follower, you don't. Knockers help, though. Here's a sample for repetitive content. No, it's true. If you put a Facebook page together and your avatar is this girl with big knockers, you're going to get 400,000 friend requests in the first week alone. Guys love boobs, right? Yeah. Oh my God! Oh, I'm so sexist. If you're in the business of selling information about credit scores, this is some sample repetitive content. 10 tips to raise your credit score. Picture these as whether they're 5-minute blogs, 5-minute videos or blog posts. 10 tips to raise your credit score. How to quickly raise your credit score. John Smith's secret to better credit. Get your credit score ready for a mortgage. It's all the same information wrapped in a different wrapping with little bit different variation for different topic, basically. It's just a way of taking the same information and putting it together and putting it out there again and again and again. This is repetitive content. This makes people think John Smith knows his shit about credit repair. Am I right? If he keeps putting this stuff out there, no matter what your niche is, you want to keep being repetitive in the one thing that you do. And also, put your reporter hat on. Find out what's going on in your industry and report on it, even if it's about your competition. Talk about what your competitors have done, and then give a little bit of your opinion on what they've done, and maybe even how you would do it better. Do this again and again. This can be done on social media, with just Twitter posts, with Facebook posts, and gets people talking about your industry, and specifically talking about your industry with you. Does that make sense? Put your reporter hat on. Keep up with what other people are doing in your industry. Then I always get the question, how much free content can I give away on my blog site? How much free content should I give away in these videos? I feel like I'm giving away all of my best stuff, and then when I actually have a course or something to sell them, I feel like I've already given it all away. So I'm not going to give them my best stuff. You know, I hear that all the time. Well, let me tell you this. Your blog, your Facebook content, your YouTube videos, that is your advertisement. And if you're putting out mundane stuff, or you're not pulling the trigger and giving your best stuff out, why would somebody want to pay you for more? If you're putting out crappy information, they're not going to pay you for the good stuff. Always put your best stuff out there. Not all in one blog post. Don't just blow it all in one blog post and say, this is everything I know about this industry. Don't do that. Save that for your paid content. But you can put out snippets of the same stuff that you sell to them later. Whether it's the free ebook that you give away when they're opting into your funnel, or a blog post, or a video, or a Facebook post. Give them your best stuff, just in very short snippets. It's called native advertising. And when you're in show business, you are always on stage. They are always looking for you. They're always looking at you, and if you're giving bullshit information away, they're not going to buy your good stuff and think, oh, you know what, I think this guy's smarter than this, so I'm going to give him $99 a month. That doesn't happen. Put your best stuff out there, and they will be willing to pay you a lot more money for more of that kind of stuff. Facebook and Twitter. This is where you want to get social. You can start by asking questions about the industry. Ask questions about, hey, would you guys rather do something this way or this way that pertaining to your industry? Be social. The whole idea of social media is to be social. Put a lot of questions out there and ask people for their responses. And you know what? Sometimes you want to boost these posts or use paid advertising, even though you're not selling anything. If you want to get a lot of answers to a question that you're posing, why not pay $20 or $30 to get it in front of the people that you're targeting? That's a step to expert fame. And you invested $20 into something that wasn't selling anything, there was no return on the investment. There was. You branded yourself. I'm not saying you have to pay for all of these, but every once in a while, if you want to get 400 or 500 likes, 400 or 500 comments on a particular question or a picture or something like that, pay for it. It's very well worth it, because people look at these likes and they say, they go to a Facebook page and they see there's 420 likes on their last photo that they put out. People think, oh, this guy must be somebody. So social media is about engaging your audience, ask engaging questions, seek advice from the audience, poll. It's a great way to poll your audience as well, and that's worth the price if you want to boost that post, to find out what people are willing to pay for. Hey, what's your biggest problem in the widget industry? And you're going to get all these answers, and you're going to get ideas for info products that you can create, or courses that you can create. Be controversial too. People love controversy. Share insider secrets. Do a little bit of a rant, but don't sound whiny about it, but do a little bit of ranting. There's nothing wrong with that. People want to know insider information, and believe me, when you come to like things like conferences like this, people love when the speakers are all together up in some suite and they're all taking pictures of each other and they post that on Facebook. These types of pictures usually get 400 or 500 likes from their followers. And why is that? Because you're getting a kind of a glimpse into what happens behind the scenes, or when people do behind the scenes videos or pictures of behind the scenes, how a course was created. Be controversial, show some things that maybe your competition might be a little upset if you revealed this secret, and let them see what's behind the curtain. Everybody wants to know what's behind the curtain, so I would definitely recommend sharing insider secrets. And you can debate. You can definitely debate online. People say, oh, I'm a business person, so I cannot have an opposing view with anybody. No, that means you're weak. If you can't take a stance on something that's important in your industry, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity to make yourself look stronger. And when you debate, there's a difference between responding to somebody's post and saying, are you an idiot? Nobody does that. This isn't 1999. This is the way to do it. You're going to look like an asshole if you do that. And nobody's going to want to buy from an asshole. So don't debate like an asshole. Be nice and say, hey, I see what you're saying, and we used to do that, but here's what we do now, and you can explain a better way. That's a better way of debating online. And if they attack you after that, you just walk away. Also, that's an important thing to talk about. There are, brace yourself, there are jerks online.
No.
There are big jerks that know everything about
No douchebag.
everything. And they are never wrong. And you cannot argue with these people. And when these people come to your website or come to your Facebook page and they make a comment on something that you said that is very derogatory or very just insulting towards you, guess what you can do? Delete it! Yes, you can delete it.
Yeah, no douchebags.
I've got another piece of shocking information. Those jerks that I talked about online,
Yes.
I'm willing to bet that some of them are in this room right now. And you just don't realize it. I always say, if you don't know if you're a jerk or not, ask a friend. But the problem is, jerks usually hang out with other jerks. So find somebody you don't really know that well and ask them. Believe me, people that aren't your friend will be very honest with you. And it's kind of eye-opening to find out that you're a douchebag.
You got it, Michelle.
But it's fixable. You can fix that. Just take an attitude inventory. Ask a friend. If that doesn't work, ask somebody that you barely know. Admitting that you're an asshole is the first step. Everybody's curable. So I got a message. This was about a year ago. I got a message that said, EBR, I posted to your Facebook wall that I thought you were an asshole. Why did you remove it? Was it because you didn't want other people to see it? And I just responded to him, yes.
Thank you, Mama Panda.
It is because I didn't want other people to see it. You have control of that stuff. If somebody comes in and insults you, and you're trying to use Facebook for business, delete it! There's nothing cowardice about that or cowardly about that. Just delete it. And don't be that person that has to be deleted. Everything we've been talking about is about what? Branding, right? I say expert fame because it's sexy, and when I put out my product, you'll all buy it because it's got an awesome title. Rather than me just saying, I'm going to teach you how to brand yourself. How many people have said that? So I just came up with a sexy way of saying it and saying, hey, I'm going to make expert famous. And it works, because I'm standing here right now, because Chris Record thought it was sexy. It's all about branding. This is my friend. His name is Wayne Allen Root. He lives here in Las Vegas. Wayne was a sports tout. People paid him a lot of money to get the picks on who's going to win the football games this weekend. And he had the 900 numbers, and then he had the TV show on Saturday mornings where he had all these ex-NFL football coaches on his panel with him. They'd all have their own 1-900 numbers, and you could call and get on this monthly recurring payment system, and he made millions teaching people how to bet on football. So the very next step, obviously, was to run for vice president, which he did. In 2008, he was a Libertarian vice presidential candidate who had no shot at ever winning.
Internet marketing conference here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
But Wayne Allen Root is a master at branding himself. He went from branding himself as the world's greatest football tout who got like 12% of the predictions correct. That's not good. But he told everybody that he was awesome, and he did it in a professional way. And he wore a nice suit, and he said it over and over and over again. I'm sure his percentages were better than 12%, but not as good as he said. He wasn't as awesome as they said they were, but people paid him millions and millions of dollars. In fact, they called him the King of Vegas. He got a star on the Las Vegas Walk of Fame, and he says King of Vegas at the top of it. So I was having lunch with him at New York, 2006. And I said, Wayne, who first called you the King of Vegas? He looked around like he was about to tell me the codes to launch nuclear weapons. He wanted to make sure that nobody was listening. And he leans across the table and goes, you don't know. I did it. And it was the simplest marketing lesson that I ever got, and the one that changed my life. I said, oh my God, I'm going to start calling myself what I want other people to call me and see if it works. Years later, fast forward, I'm in the IM industry, and I started doing webinars, and I was very successful doing webinars. And I said, hey, I have achieved this level of success, and I think that I've changed the game enough to put out a workshop, and people pay me a lot of money for it. So what I'm going to do is put this together, and then I'm going to put together a bunch of swipe. Who here knows what swipe emails are? For those of you that don't, swipe emails are a set of emails that are basically selling your product. And when affiliates come to you to promote your products online, you give them these swipe emails. And a lot of people will change them a little bit and add their own personalization to them. But a lot of people will copy and paste it right into their autoresponders and just substitute their own affiliate link there. And they will send it out as is. That is the perfect opportunity for everybody to call yourself what you want others to call you. Does that make sense? Because hundreds or even thousands of affiliates will start emailing their lists. And if you have 1,000 affiliates promoting a product for you, and they all have a list of an average of 5,000 people, I don't know math, but that's a lot of people that are going to be getting that email that says exactly what you wanted it to say. And you can brand yourself in swipe emails, and people don't really take advantage of that. That is something that you can do. So I took a play right out of the King of Vegas's playbook when I wrote these swipe emails for my webinar course, and I said, what can I call myself that I want other people to call me? I have no originality whatsoever, so I'll just call myself the King of Webinars, just like my friend Wayne did. My first product review that I got online was from Russ Serfino, and he writes, E. Brian Rose is the webinar king. It worked. Holy shit, it worked. This stuff works. Call yourself what you want others to call you, and use the tools that you all have readily available to you to make them call you this. Press releases, swipe files. It works. Here's another strategy that I use, the association strategy. When I was first entering into a business that a niche, a career field that nobody knew me in, I wanted to make a name for myself, and what better way to do that than hang out with people that already have made names for themselves. Back in the poker boom days, I wanted to be a player in the poker world. I wasn't a great poker player, wasn't average at best, but I loved poker. I loved tournament poker. I loved that it was coming online and it was going to be this big TV phenomenon back in 2002, 2003. So I set up a website. There weren't that many websites out there at the time that were dedicated to poker. This was before the big boom. And I wanted to get all the people in the industry to start reading this website, but who am I that they would follow me? I'm nobody. So who knows this guy? Shout out his name. Somebody knows him. Danny Negreanu. A lot of people know him. Danny Negreanu was one of the most famous poker players in the world today. And back then, he was probably in the top 50 most known poker players. If you were in the poker industry, you knew Danny Negreanu. But back then, this was before they were all rock stars and famous people, and they were all over the casinos, and you could just readily approach them. So I approached them and said, hey, I'm setting up this website, and I want you to host a section of the forum called Ask Daniel Negreanu. And he was like, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do that. So I had a place where you can get Q&A from Daniel Negreanu, one of the world's greatest poker players. And I started taking pictures with him. That's me playing poker at his house. That's me sitting in a bathroom holding his $1 million. There's nothing weird about that. That was actually at the Bellagio right after he won the Three Diamond event. And the safe was in the bathroom. Believe that or whatever you want. I don't care. So I put these pictures out there, and people start seeing me with him, and they started following what I was writing online, my poker articles. I started getting people asking me if I would write for their magazines because I hung out with Daniel Negreanu. It's an association strategy. Associate yourself with the people that you want to align yourself with. You don't want to always be looking up at people. You want to be looking across from the best people. You want to be looking eye level, the best people in your industry. Then there's involuntary association. I know that sounds all rapey and everything, but it's not. It's what I talked about earlier, where you set up, it's like the Lorenzo von Matterhorn style, where you set up a website where you talk about the best people in a certain industry and you list yourself next to some of the best people. Who's the best investment bankers in the world? Warren Buffett and E. Brian Rose. Duh. Involuntary association that works wonders. The same strategies work for business branding too. The same exact strategies that you're branding yourself for and getting expert fame for yourself actually work with business branding too. Who knows this company? Big round of applause if you do. When we started jbzoo.com, we had built something that we knew was great. We knew it was awesome. We knew that it had the tools that affiliates wanted, the tools that vendors wanted. But what we didn't know was how to get the people to use the website. So we used these branding techniques. This is called the step and repeat side. We ordered this for, I think, $99. Chris has one outside. You guys all took your pictures with it. Step and repeat is what you see at press conferences or on the red carpets. And we went to a conference in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we set up a party there. We had a $2,500 budget, and that was pretty much all the money that we had to spend on this business at the time that we had allotted for this. And we said, let's see what happens. We threw a party. But in order to get into the party, you had to get your picture taken on this red carpet. Every single person got their picture taken, and they looked similar to this, and this, and this, and this. We did this at several parties. And what we did is we put them online and tagged every single person on Facebook. So it appeared in all of their friends' feeds. And if they liked it, it appeared in all of their friends' feeds. There were about 200 people that came to our first party. And we told them afterwards, we didn't do this for you. We didn't throw this party for you. I'm glad you had a few cocktails and had a good time. But we did it for your friends and their friends. That first party that we threw, and about 180 pictures that went up online, is directly responsible for our first 10,000 signups at JVZoo. And all it cost us was $2,500 worth of beer and a $99 sign. This stuff works. And people want to hear, this is an example of a post that I posted last year at this time. People want to hear the behind the curtain stuff. They want to hear about the insider information stuff. So they also want to hear success stories. So I put this out. The members of JVZoo have now generated over $70 million in sales. That's $70 million. I'm so proud to have played a part in so many jobs created and so many lives changed. Oh, everybody say oh.
Aww.
In the first 20 minutes, it had 281 likes and 58 comments. People want to hear behind the scenes stuff. They want to hear success stories. They want to hear feel-good, fluffy, funny stories. They want this stuff. And you can give it to them. Everybody can give that stuff to them. Who can't write a thoughtful post like that you see the ulterior motive there, right? I was proud to be a part of it. I am happy that the members of JVZoo have made all this money. But everything is show business when you have followers following you. The idea is to get everybody saying, oh my gosh, all these people are making this money, I should be on JVZoo too. It's all about branding, everything that you do. It's all about this too, perception. When you see this on a blog post, 0 tweets, 0 likes, 0 Google shares, you think the guy who wrote it is a 0. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't have any followers. When you go to a blog site and see this, it could be the same exact article, and you're thinking, oh wow, did you know that people are 400% more likely to hit the like button on a blog post if there are already 50 likes there? Anybody know that? Because it's all about the herd mentality. People follow what other people are doing because they don't want to feel stupid. If there's a crowd of people doing this, well, maybe I should be doing that too. It's crowd mentality. And you need to use that crowd mentality when you're putting out your blog posts, when you're putting out your Facebook posts, when you're putting out your videos. If you don't have any likes, tell your friends to like them, and guess what else you can do? And this might have just thrown away all the confidence you had in me, because you're going to go, oh, shocking that he would say, buy it. You can buy likes. And you're not doing it to get these fake accounts that are going to follow you. Those are all fake bots when you go to Fiverr and buy likes. But you can do it because it sets the seed for the herd mentality. And if you buy 50 likes on something, people are much, much more likely to hit the like button, and the real people follow you. Those 50 likes turn into 400 likes. And it sounds like douchebaggery, but it's smart marketing, right? Who thinks it's douchebaggery?
Douchebaggery.
Are you raising your hand or scratching your head? Okay. I'm going to leave you with one final tip. I want you to use the media. There are so many guru types out there that say, turn off the TV, don't watch the news. How many people have heard somebody tell you that? Don't ever watch the news. It's full of bad news. I think that's horse crap. Absolute horse crap. First of all, uninformed people are not intelligent people. You should know what's going on around you, and especially what's going around in your industry. Back in 1998, I had an auction site. I thought I was going to be the next eBay.
I'll get you.
It didn't work out like that.
But you can go to.
But I had an auction site called DutchBid.com, and I had a good 5 or 6 members, and I was looking to get more, of course, because you don't make a lot of money off of 5 or 6 members. So I'm watching the news one day. I'm watching CNN, to be specific, and I see this news story that was interesting about eBay. Does anybody know who Kevin Mitnick is? No. Kevin Mitnick is a famous hacker. In fact, he was one of the first, if not the first, person to ever be arrested, convicted, and confined for hacking. And a lot of the hackers didn't like that. So there was a huge campaign, free Kevin, blah, 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 all this. Kevin went to jail for several years. In fact, while he was in county prison, the first prison that he was in, or county jail, he wasn't allowed to make phone calls. All the other prisoners could make phone calls, but the sheriff was convinced that he could whistle the doo-doo-doo sound and hack into computers. So he wasn't allowed to use the telephone while he was there. Kevin gets out of jail, and Kevin decides, I need money, and I have a bunch of fans. What can I do? So the first thing he did was said, I'm going to sell my prison ID card. Because I think that would be a cool souvenir. So he puts it up on eBay, and the bidding goes up to like $4,000 or $5,000 very quickly. He had some really wealthy followers, I guess. And it makes the news, and the next day, eBay pulls the auction and says, we don't want to do business with convicted hackers. Bing! Light bulb goes off. I dig up Kevin Mitnick's phone number. I get him on the phone and said, I will auction off your prison ID card. And he's like, yeah, but I went to your website and there's not really anybody there. And I'm like, I promise you, I will get millions of people to come to this website. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And I hung up the phone and said, how the F am I going to do that? So I wrote a press release. This press release, blah, 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 eBay didn't want it, we think it would be cool on our website. Here's my phone number, call me if you have questions. This is back in 1998, and it was a free press release on PR Web, December 2nd, 2000. That night, I went to bed stressing out about how I'm going to make good on this. I get a phone call at 3:30 in the morning, and I assumed it was the wrong number or some girl I pissed off, and I almost didn't answer it. I said, oh, whatever, I'll answer it. I answer the phone, and some woman is screaming at me, And I'm like, wait, slow down. I can't slow down. I have a 5-minute deadline. I'm like, what do you want? She says, I need a statement. I need just one sentence from you about this press release you put out. And I said, who are you? She said, with the AP Newswire. Holy shit. Told you, Kevin. So I give her my one statement. She hangs up the phone. I go to sleep. I really didn't put too much stock into it. The next morning, I got an email every time somebody signed up for the website. Every time a new member joined Dutch Bid, I would get an email. The next morning, I go up and expecting my 12 or so new emails, and I had over 50,000 emails, all from new registrations and new listings of new products being listed on the site, and bids for this prison ID card. This is the AP Newswire article that went out that morning. This is CNET. Hackers auction stirs up controversy, and right embedded into the first paragraph or second paragraph was DutchBid.com with a link to my website. Chicago Tribune, same thing. DutchBid.com, they're online and in their print newspaper. USA Today wrote about my website and put a quote that they got from the AP Newswire from me from a free PR Newsweb press release that I wrote. I had over 1 million unique visitors in one day because I watched the news. And I took advantage of just this obscure news story that I saw. So when they tell you not to watch the news, pay attention to current events because it could change your life. It didn't change mine because I couldn't afford the bandwidth and they shut me down. But it was cool. Bandwidth was expensive back then, and it's a story, right? It's a story I tell from stage now. So to sum it all up, see the web, be known for one thing, be confident and opinionated, be repetitive, report on your industry and the happenings in your industry, share content every day, both free and paid, and be responsive to the people that email you or respond to your content. Associate with those you want to be associated with. Call yourself what you want others to call you. Be controversial and share insider secrets. Buy your way to fame. I love that one. Facebook is the new infomercial. Pay attention to current events. Automate your infomercials. And go to my website and sign up for my newsletter because it's freaking awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome, guys. Great stuff, yes? Okay, look at your watches here. So here's what we're gonna do. It's 1:24. What time is it? All right, in 60 minutes, we're gonna be back here. So here's what we're gonna break for lunch. Make it quick. If you could go down to take a left, it's called the Eatery. What's it called? Eatery has tons of little stuff, grab and go, quick, inexpensive. In 60 minutes, we're gonna have someone that literally just came off and did $250,000 in 7 days as an affiliate with the list size, the 50th of all these other big gurus, and did $250,000. How many of you guys like to learn specifically, step by step, and showed what he did with a relatively small list to do $250,000 as an affiliate and blow out everyone else? You guys want to hear that? Yeah. Make sure, be back here, 2:20, 2:25, we're going to get started, and we're going to go dive deep into that info. So grab a bite, make it happen, get back here, 2:25.
Hey, you guys. So, what did you think? Are you guys out there? Go ahead, text anything in that you want to know. You like it? Oh my God, turn that down. Holy crap, the music is too freaking loud. So you guys, make sure you go here. It's my catch account, and all the videos will be on here if you want to watch the rest of the conference. Okay, catch.me, GoRiceGirl. Got it? I'll leave them up there. Hopefully Catch will catch them all. But that's the way you can go, because you know how they're deleted after 24 hours, so we're working there. Energy pumping, but eardrum blasting as well. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go grab some lunch. I'll see you later today. Okay? Thank you for all the love taps. I appreciate it. At least I know that you guys are interested in this kind of stuff. Okay.